We have three types of loops in Java. First is while loop. Now second is the do while, and third will be for loop, which will be explained next. All of these loops, there should be a variable controlling the loop. Initialize the variable, write a condition for the variable, and update the variable. So what's the difference between while and do while? The difference is at the beginning. For the while loop, we write while and we put the condition, but for do while we put the condition at the end. So the difference is at the entry level. In while loop, it is possible not to enter the loop from the beginning, but in do while, no, we enter the loop and then we test for the condition. So the minimum number of iteration for do while is 1, but for while loop it is 0. This is the flow chart. According to the variable controlling the loop, we initialize first the control variable loop or loop control variable, and then we go inside the loop. See, this is the loop we are having. We are going around these two statements, condition and statement, which is the body. We enter the body of the loop and we check for the condition. If the condition is true, then we go back and enter the loop again. Here is an example. The variable controlling the loop is I. It starts from 0, and then we enter the loop, we print, and then we update the variable by 5, and then we check for the variable. Now maybe you think that the number of iterations will be different from while and do while. If the number of iterations is greater than 1, then both of them will count the same. There is no difference. So you can use while or you can use do while. But if there are some situations, or if there is a situation in the beginning that your problem solution might not need to enter the loop from the beginning. So it depends on the problem itself. If you know in advance that the number of iteration that you are going to have for your solution is more than 1, so it doesn't matter if you use while or do while. Both will give you the same number of iterations. So if I want to count, for example, from 1 to 10, if you remember the rabbit example, I needed to read the age and gender of the rabbits 10 times. We used while loop. Now here you can freely use do while without any changes. Just put do and put the processing inside and put the condition as like what you have done before. So no difference between the two. But for sentinel controlled while loop, it makes a difference because maybe the user from the beginning gives -1 and does not enter the loop. But here we don't have such situation. You go inside the loop and then you check for the conditions. So for sentinel controlled while loop, the best loop is while. You cannot use do while. So do while repeats at least once. Now for the for loop, it is like a counter controlled while loop, but the difference between while and for loop is that for the components of the loop in while loop, they are not specified on one place. Initialize before the loop, we put the condition and update inside the loop. Now, if we put the initialize and we put the condition and we put the update on one line, because these are just part of the loop. They are not part of the solution. So if I need a loop to go 10 times, then for bookkeeping, we need a variable to control it. We need to initialize it. We need a condition and we need update. So instead of writing them on separate lines, the for loop allows you to write them all at one line. So how to write the for loop? You put the initialize, you put semicolon, not comma, and you put the condition, and then you put semicolon, and then you put the update. So it looks like it has 3 sections: initialize, condition, and update. And see how it works. First, the initialize will be executed. And then the condition will come next. If the condition is true, then the program will go inside the loop and will do the update. So the update must be at the end. For the while loop, you have the choice to put the update anywhere. But for the for loop, the update must be at the end. And after the update, you go back to the condition. So see, the initialize is done only at the beginning. Then when we go inside the loop, it is ignored and only the loop will be between the update and condition. So initialize, condition, go inside the loop, update, condition, go inside the loop, update, and we will go around until the condition becomes false, we go outside the loop. Here is an example for a for loop that iterates 21 times. Why 21 times? Because it starts from 0 and it goes up to 20, and see the update, it's updated by 1, and what we do inside the loop, we just simply print. So this is like a shortcut, smaller, if you want to design a loop that counts up or counts down. So initialize and update these sections may have more than one statement separated by commas. So here we can put more than one statement, and here we can put more than one statement, and then we have the condition in the middle. Probably if we give you an example to show you what we mean by this, and also give you an idea between the three types of loops. So let's go to JGrasp for demonstration. In this example, I'm going to show you how to use the three types of loops to print the numbers 1 to 5. For the while loop, first I need to print a message by saying using while loop. So how to print the numbers from 1 to 5? We need a variable that controls the loop, and I'm going to use I. I will make it start from 1, and then I will write while, and I will put the condition, so I less than or equal to 5. And then inside, since we are going to print, it will be system.out.println, and I'm going to say that I is equal to plus I, and then we have the update, we will say I plus a plus. So this is if I want to use the while loop. So run it. There is an error, println, it says, yeah, we did not close it. Run it. So let us see the output, because there is an output. Yeah, see, this is the output, okay, obtained using while loop. Now we would like to use do while. Now for do while, see, the number of iterations is 5, so it is more than 1 and above. Since it is 1 or above, so you don't have to do any changes. You can just simply start. Now we already have defined I'm going to reuse it again, so there is no need to define it again. I will start from 1, and I'm going to write do, and I will write inside system.out.println I equal plus I, and then we will do the update plus a plus, and now we will close the loop and we will write the condition while I less than or equal to 5 and put semicolon. So I did not do any changes to the code inside the loop. Here I started with while, and here I started with do. The difference between the two is at the beginning. And since in the while loop, definitely in the first iteration, we are going to get inside the loop, then we can use do while without any changes. Let's run the program and to show you that it is really printing C, but I need to print a message that we are using do while, copy, and in here paste it using do and while. Run it again to see the results. And so here is the results using do while. So we have 1, 2, 3 up to 5. See, it is exactly the same as the while loop. And again, if you want to think of using do while, just make sure that you are first entering the loop and then you are testing for the condition. If that's fine, then you don't have any problem. Now for the for loop, using for loop, then we write for, and we put the initialization I equal 1, because I is already defined, so there is no need to define it. And we put the condition I equal to 5, and then we put the update all in one line. And since we are just printing inside, there is no need for brackets. We will just say system.out.println and we say I equal to plus I, and we close the bracket, we terminate the statement, and now we will run it. We will run the program to see the output. So using for loop, also it iterates 5 times. So if you have a counter controlled, that means if you know how many times you need to iterate in a loop, then the best loop will be for loop. While loop will be like a universal loop that you can use it for any situation. But for loop, it is easy to understand. You put the condition, the initialize, you put the condition, and you put the update all in one line. And then you focus on the process inside the loop. Now, let me show you how we can use using more than one statement in initialize and update. But we need only one variable to control the loop. Now what I want to do, I want to print on the same line, on separate lines, let's say 5 lines. On the first column, I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5. But in the second column, I want to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I can do this in one loop. So how we will do it? We will assign 2 variables. I'm going to assign 2 variables. 4, I will define them here. The first I will call it A, which starts from 1, and the one I will call it B, which starts from 5, and I put semicolon. See in the initialize, because this is the section for initialize, I am defining 2 variables. The first one starts at 1 and B starts at 5, but we need one of them to control the loop. I'm going to use A for controlling the loop, and I will say as long as it is less than or equal to 5, continue the loop. So this is the section for the condition, but sometimes also we used in the condition the 2 variables A and B. But here for demonstration, I'm going to use only A for the condition. Now for the update, since A, I wanted to go from 1 to 5, so I will be plus a plus, comma, and since B, I wanted to go from 5 up to 1, then I need to decrease, I need to increase A, and then I need to decrease B. And now for the output, we will print the value of A, and I will put a tab to separate A and B columns, and then I will print the value of B. So notice now A starts 1 and it increased by 1, so 1, 2, 3 up to 5, and B starts from 5, decreased by 1, so it will be 5, 4, and etc. Let us run it to see the result. So now see the result. Okay, this is the printout from the previous loop. So this is the output here. See 1, 5. So the first column 1 up to 5, the second column from 5 up to 1. So we used A for the first column and we used B for the second column using one loop, which is for loop. And this is what we mean that for initialize you can use more than one statement, and in update you can use more than one statement separated by comma.